It is certainly that type of day. And holy shit, everyone. Yeah, so a lot of stuff and things has been coming out on a Friday. Imagine that. It's almost like it's been a relatively slow news cycle. So now they're actually deciding to release some stuff. The first thing that came to mind that actually in time covered within the last 2 hours. Apparently, the rumors of Kim Jong-un being brain dead starting to get reported.
Well, he's been brain dead for like a decade now, though.
Oh no, we're talking like legit in a
physical brain dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's because he followed Trump's quarantine procedure.
No, there was.
Hey, he was ahead of the curve on the Clorox, injectable Clorox. That's what it was.
And the chloroquine.
Yeah. Well, so far, as of last heard, the only place that is actually reporting that right now is a news agency out of Hong Kong. And around the same time that was released, there was also a report of a medical team leaving Hong Kong to go to North Korea. Coincidence? Probably not.
Also brought up a who's potentially next in line for succession video today.
Well, yeah, like actually, and that's another part of it is part of the report is the fact that his sister is now using her actual regular name instead of the pseudonym and trying to consolidate power.
Yeah,
that's kind of an fun thing to do.
From his daughter, who's only 8 years old.
Yeah, so...
Oh, come on. Please give North Korea an 8-year-old leader.
Please. By the way, speaking of brain dead, in about half an hour on Modern Day Debates, I posted the link in the chat.
Oh, I know. That is going to be special.
Oh, what is it?
Who's on?
JM Truth debating T-Jump.
Oh, shit.
About... hang on. Think about the topic, though.
Alternative medicine versus big pharma.
Oh, jeez.
T-Jump really isn't the best choice for a lot of the topics that he goes on, but you know what? I think he might actually have a chance on this one. Finally.
Well, we all said the same thing about Godless Engineer versus G-Man, and look how that turned out.
Oh no! I grabbed popcorn and sat back on that one because that one was going to be a show. I just didn't expect it to be the type of show that it turned into.
Oh jeez. On ICFTF, he's doing a Corona-19 denier.
By the way, I only caught the beginning of it. How badly did Huge Ass and FTFE lose? Because when I caught it, AB Science hadn't even shown up yet, and so it was just Katz against the two of them, and Katz himself had gotten to a commanding lead after the first 2 rounds. And then AB Science shows up, and I don't think it got any better for Craig.
What was the trivia about?
They were just having a basic trivia game with Planner Walk coming up with the questions, answers, whatever. Because I stopped paying attention because I had to do something else. When they went to essentially Jeopardy style, where the prompt was the answer and they had to come up with the question. Nobody knew it was Anzac Day.
No, I do.
But at the same time, that one, it wasn't so much that... I heard that one. That wasn't so much Anzac Day. That was apparently Monday. The New Zealand restrictions are being lessened.
Yep.
But Although, let's get to a little more happy news. We have exposure of a major boo-boo that we kind of predicted was going to happen. So, Tech.
All right, which one?
Well, so Tech, the whole, the captain who got relieved by the acting SecNav because he didn't email his immediate chain of command. Well, let's take a look at that.
Yep, here's the email. The email addresses themselves been blocked out, but you can see the names.
Hang on.
By the way, Jared, there, look at name number 3 under the 2 and go ahead and pat yourself on the back.
Well, I could barely read it.
Yeah, it's all fuzzy for me too.
Oh, is it?
Turn off your porn filter.
I don't have a porn filter. Why it's coming out fuzzy?
Oh, it's now okay. It's starting to clear up for me now.
Well, here's an idea. Actually present instead of just turn on the camera.
Yeah, look at that.
That's probably what it is.
And we go ahead and turn you off then. There we go.
Yeah, but
Crazy.
yes, anamorphic mind. It is the recommendation from the CNO, who is acting as the Secretary of the Navy right now, has recommended reinstatement.
Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3.
Actually, I got an idea. Boom, there we go. So, which one are we looking at? Third one down? Baker?
Third one down was where you need to pat your back. Remember what you were talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Third one down is Commander Strike Group 9 there.
Yeah. Yeah, there were...
Yeah, Commander Pacific Fleet. You got Commander Naval Air Pacific. You got Commander Carrier Strike Group 9. Now look at all the other ones are carbon copies. Now all these actually make sense if you look at them.
Yeah, because they're all.
Yeah.
You got this. You got the Carrier Strike Wing 11 CAG and the Deputy CAG. If you look a couple down from that.
Yep. You got
Daniel
Desron.
Keeler there. Daniel Keeler there. He's actually the XO.
Yep. Yeah, you got XO, you got DCAG, you got
Desron 23, because there are 3 Desron 23 destroyers in the strike group.
Yep.
John York there is the chief medical officer aboard the Roosevelt.
Yep, CMO.
And then, yeah, Miguez and Westerdorf there. I had to look them up. They're actually chief of staff of Compact Fleet and Commander Naval Air.
Nav Air.
All right, I'll be right back, guys.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the 10 people the email was sent to. Not 20 or 30. That's the 10 people that the email was sent to.
And if you notice, outside of the CMO, who's the chief medical officer on there, and Desron on there, guaranteed, each and every one of those, because of their positions, either were closely associated to or are naval aviators themselves. And look how he starts the actual message off. Fellow naval aviators, because yes, having your flight wings is a requirement to be the XO or commanding officer of an aircraft carrier.
Makes sense.
Yes, this was the 20 or 30 people outside of the chain of command that he sent it to.
Yeah, and no, it was the 10 people in his direct chain of command, both equal and a step below and above. So, yeah.
Literally everybody on that list has a legitimate interest in the readiness of the Roosevelt. Every single one of them.
But you just need to remember, I only hire the best people for the best jobs that they can do. Bull fucking shit.
I'll ship them injectable Clorox.
Make it the ultra concentrated.
Light.
So is there any idea of how this got out past this group?
That I don't know about, except Like, I'm wondering if something nefarious might have gone on, because one thing I did notice is that, which one was it? Shoot. It was Miguez, I think. No, it was Westerndorf. He left the chief of staff position shortly after this email went out, but there's been no talk about anything. So I don't know. I don't know if that was just a normal thing or if that was related to this or so.
When the acting SecNav gave his press briefing, and I'll admit I was defending him, not staunchly, but I mean seeing his side of it. A big part of the loss of confidence was the claim that because of who was on the distro list, he was basically being frivolous on who he sent this to, with little to no regard to it getting out.
He also said it was sent to 20, 30 people, so
yeah,
we could see how accurate that his statements were here.
And then he was specifically asked by a reporter, can you tell us who was on that distro list? And he declined to respond.
Now we know.
If he had sent it to 20 or 30 people, I'm on board that he wasn't right. This list doesn't necessarily say that.
Oh, hey, Marty Moose.
This list tells a completely different story than the acting SecNav gave.
Oh, yeah. And that really is the problem. And you can see why he was probably not so much forced, but highly recommended that you might want to resign and look for employment elsewhere.
This isn't going to look good when it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's your McDonald's application.
The new acting SecNav and the CNO have recommended reinstatement, though SecDev hasn't made any call yet.
Oh boy.
That's one of those recommendations I can see going, yeah, okay, good. Do it. Oh, and think about the celebration videos that you would get from the crew who are not already affected and bedridden when that announcement is made.
Yeah.
Ooh, here's a game I haven't played in a while.
Note to the trolls out there, if you're going to make fun of someone, at least spell their name right. But yeah, to say that I was surprised that Trump wouldn't take questions after that whole injecting Clorox thing, I'm not.
Or UV light or all that crap.
You know, to be fair, UV light is used in some medical procedures as treatment, just not the kind he was talking about.
Yeah, topically.
Jaundice.
Not internally.
You probably recommend next stick it up your butt. Suppository.
Shouldn't be having stream issues.
Kitty.
Well, seems to be good here.
Yeah. I don't know, Leon. Maybe your internet's starting to fritz out again.
Yeah.
So some of you in here I know have been routine enough viewers. What have you been thinking of the last few weeks of the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday shows?
I mean last night's show? After Star Trek?
That was... There are some things that you just don't know how to explain. That was just... Why? I want to know what prompted that to come up as a recommendation.
What was he thinking?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, have you seen the article that there's a theory that the Obamas could get 12 more years in the White House?
Wait, what?
Biden picks Michelle as his VP, and then immediately after being sworn in, resigns.
Oh.
God, they are really trying hard for a dynasty, aren't they?
No, I don't think that's coming from them. That's coming from the people that love them and would love to see it
No,
happen.
that's what I mean. Those are the people I'm referring to. There are people who are so hard up over them that they are trying to find every way possible to circumvent the primary tenet that the Constitution was set up to not let happen.
But I thought the president had total power.
Leading up to November is going to be a very interesting time.
Do these people forget that this country was founded because we didn't want to deal with a damned monarchy?
But maybe we want one now.
Fuck that noise. Like, even if you offered me the position of being an ultimate monarch, I would still tell you, fuck off. I don't want to do that
Jared,
shit.
I'll be honest, the only position I want you in is doggy style, and that ain't happening. And the crowd goes silent.
Well, I look over and Marty Moose says Obama would never do that. He seems to be a to the letter constitutionalist. Except when he said that the Constitution is flawed and then refused to point out what any of those flaws actually are. So Marty Moose did bring up before, so apparently the Charles de Gaulle has actually had outbreak issues, and actually does bring up a good question. Did the French captain hesitate in docking the carrier for health reasons in fear of losing his job because of the American situation? And it's not outside of the realm of possibility as a reason.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're the French. I mean, they're used to turning tail and running, so maybe he was trying to change that perception?
Maybe.
The destroyer kids had some too.
What the fuck?
I'm shocked. I mean, I wouldn't doubt if like it's been happening more often in other countries we haven't even heard about. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's been multiple Chinese Navy ships and Russian Navy ships that's having issues too. I mean, the thing, it's not going to take much once it gets on a Navy vessel for it to spread. I mean, just think
hell
about
no. I mean, freaking gastro happens every deployment, and the breakout starts usually within the 2 weeks, and it tries to go through everyone, but guess what? If you know how to wash your damn hands and not be a disgusting piece of shit, yes, I'm looking at you, especially you fucking A-gangers, the actual engineers, those dirtiest motherfuckers I've ever seen.
No, we'll just use your chewable Clorox. Uh-oh.
Anamorphic mind. Isn't the French flag all white? No. That's their battle flag.
No, they have it built into their flag. As soon as something happens, it pulls a string, turns all white.
French proving they can keep on mission even with a full crew of COVID positive sailors. Maybe.
I gotta tell you, there was one thing that impressed me the hell out of me about the French Navy. We reported at Toulon once, and this French destroyer came in, and I swear this thing came in at 20 knots and stopped on a dime, and within 15 minutes there was barely anybody left on that destroyer.
Well, again, it is the French. They are used to running away.
Oh, hang on. I gotta share this.
I was impressed.
Hang on. There you go.
Coral is feeling better, but still too sick to join us tonight.
There you go.
So she says you're all asshole. Oh, wow. You know what, Spaceman? That is a good find. I'll give him credit for that one. That is a good find.
That's your cure for coronavirus.
Quick question. Does copper do anything to neutralize this current shit? No, but I think a massive thermonuclear device might.
Did they say heat your body up or something like that? Put it in sunlight?
Yeah, it's inside. You need to have the sunlight inside your body.
Inject
The only way to do that
UV
is to
into
make
your
it-
body.
Injectable UV.
You need to have the inside of your body on the outside of your body. Thermonuclear device is the most rapid way to do that.
Now,
Charles Darwin approves.
No. Darwin encourages. Marty Moose asks, do carrier sailors hot bunk? Is that normal operating procedure? Not on American carriers. Because here's the thing. Actually, I think the only U.S. Navy ships that actually have that potential are the fast attacks.
Yeah, fast attacks will sometimes, like even there's sometimes we're not even doing it. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's point this one out. Just so everyone knows, even the Insane Clown Posse is canceling their gatherings of the Juggalos. I think about it. When the Insane Clown Posse is making more sense than you might be doing it wrong.
I think that they might need to change the name of their band.
Yeah, if you're less sensible than the Insane Clown Posse, you probably need to reevaluate things in your life.
But no, as for the spread of infection potential on a naval ship, even a carrier, when you have 5, sometimes close to 6,000 people in that close confined quarters, and I'd say a good 2/3, not quite 75% of it, are all enlisted, and they're sharing 2 mess decks, 2 places to eat all the meals. That is the most common outbreak point of any naval ship, the galley, because it is the major congregation point of everyone from every department on that ship. And on the carriers, it's on one of the few decks where you can actually walk from damn near one end of the ship to the other. The only other places on an aircraft carrier you can do that, obviously on the flight deck, but the O3 level, which is right below the flight deck, the hangar, and second deck, which is where the mess decks are. So, yeah, a lot of movement in especially the lower 2, and that's kicker with the O3 level. That's where the wardrooms are, which is where the officers eat.
I've never had my own special dining quarters. I feel left out. I had to always eat with you folk, the plebes.
Oh, so you got to see what a real party was like.
the officers had their own wardroom on the boat, but you know, they ate the same food we did. So.
They just didn't have to be bothered by your stench.
Yeah.
It came with the gold silverware, right?
Oh yeah.
They got the fancy silverware in the china.
Oh yeah, Marty Moose. Outside the most common infection points and disease spreading points for a naval ship are the mess decks, because you have everyone at some point in their day, everyone goes through there. So common point 1. Depending on the ship and berthing layouts, the head, the bathroom, that's the other one. Those 2 spots.
You're forgetting about the third, and that's the medical center. That's because they're all getting their junk checked daily to make sure they're not passing their STDs around like normal.
See,
now you gotta go.
And that's even that's even on the all male ships too.
You have to remember the older days where they actually had a special toilet for those who had an STD. Remember that? It was a red lid. It was a red lid toilet seat.
Yeah, the chief's on. So Marty Moose has a brother who is a chief in the Coast Guard.
Yep. And their own little head, but I mean, they were eating the crew's mess with us. So.
Yeah. On a carrier, they had their that one. Yeah.
That's your new boat, Jared.
You know, I could have some fun with that and put a decent enough centerline pump jet motor on it.
It looks like a micro tug to me.
It's shaped after a tug, but yeah.
No, it's
adorable.
It's your 2-peg battleship from Battleship.
You know what the 2-peg ship actually is supposed to be?
What?
A frigate.
Okay. What's the 1-peg? Destroyer?
A miss?
Or that's a miss. Nice.
No.
All right. You got to educate the army guy. What the fuck do you mean by pegs?
You've never. Wow. Wow,
that pegging is. I know what pegging is, Jared. You've talked to me enough about that already.
Wait, so you don't remember how to play Battleship?
It's been some time.
Okay, I got it now.
It's been a while since I played, so give me some slack.
Well, yeah, because keep in mind, your smallest ship on the board was the 2 spot, and
yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's a frigate.
Yep,
you're right.
Then you had 3, 4, and 5. 4 was your battleship. 5 was the carrier. Mm-hmm. The 3, there were a couple of them, which was...
I think you had 2 of them, didn't you? 2 3-peggers?
Yeah, which is your cruiser, cruiser or destroyer, and the submarine.
That's it.
I prefer battle shots.
You know what? We might just have to set up a tournament for that.
So that's not about who you sink. It's who falls down first.
Yeah, I've got battle shots.
With Clorox shots?
No, that's only one of them. You gotta hope that you don't get that one.
It's randomly mixed in somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I'm sure you can tell by the smell, but...
Yeah. And yes, Marty Moose, you are right. With when you have an infection similar to COVID requiring heavy medical intervention and monitoring, yeah, the medical department would get overflowing very quickly. But here's the kicker, is they would actually end up commandeering an entire berthing and having it be a de facto ICU in that case.
Quarantined off from everybody else.
Or as much as they could, yeah. But air circulation being what it is on a ship and a requirement for it, yeah.
Yeah, you can try and quarantine as much as you can on a ship, but it's really kind of a fool's errand.
It truly is, especially with the surfaces that are there too. Now, from Anamorphic Mind, what does everyone think about Trump telling the Navy to shoot any Iranian vessel? Now, here's the thing. He didn't just say that. He said, if they get beyond this range, have at them. Which,
I thought he said if they were harassing you.
Which
But
is...
he was very vague about what harassment meant.
The actual orders are going... the way they're put out is establish a safety bubble of this distance from the skin of the ship. Anything comes within that after warnings, open fire. Because they've been warned, they're within that acceptable distance, and you know what?
It all comes down to the captain's discretion. So
Ultimately, yes.
yeah.
Would a carrier have ICU-style ventilators on board? Not many, if any.
Yeah, they should have some.
Like 2 or 3 tops. The issue with that is that medical facilities on an aircraft carrier, while they are wider ranging and better than the smaller ships, they're really meant mainly to stabilize and prolong life to allow for transport to a shore facility. It's not meant for long term. It really is advanced triage and urgent surgery, primarily. Well, yeah, yes, Trump in the public address is going to be vague as fuck because you got to be honest when you evaluate anything like that he says. He's doing it from a very politician-style yet business-like posturing. You got to take a lot of what he says in those instances with a grain of salt and not hold it too directly of what he says is exactly what he means, because the actual orders as they're going to go out is the new operating the new SOP. The adjustment to the SOP is going to be, this is the distance that is going to be your line of no return to where use of lethal force is authorized. That's what the order is going to be, is inside of this range, ships from this nation acting in this way, you have authorization to fire. That's the actual order that's going to be going out. Which, you know what? I'll rehash this asshole-ish hot take from a couple months ago. Stop fucking dicking around and just do it already. Shit or get off the pot. I'm really, if you're gonna pussyfoot and play games, no more middle ground on that. If you want to actually flex and show what you got, time to nut up or shut up. And that goes on both sides of the coin there. Because it's amazing how quickly some people will shut up after realizing, oh, wait a minute, you mean it? You're actually going to kick my ass?
Are we talking about Iran again?
Yep.
I go away to finish cooking dinner and we go from talking about the Roosevelt to this.
Well, it's questions from chat.
Well, I see the ICU style ventilators on board, and I did hear a little bit about that.
Hate to see this stuff break out in a submarine. We don't even have a medical officer.
Well,
Really?
yeah,
We have an IDC.
Independent duty corpsman.
That's our entire medical department. It's an IDC.
Medical and dental.
Marty Moose, the vast majority of combatant commanders are still going to show restraint because they don't want to be the one. Well, one, they're not stupid. And two, how many of them want to be the one to go down as the one who fired first?
Who wants to be the one to raise the red flag that there's an issue? Oh, wait, that last one got fired.
Although he might
Yep.
be getting reinstated. He more than likely is going to be getting reinstated, which is actually a good thing because, yeah. It's amazing how one person tries to lie about what happened and then it's shown with
I'd
receipts.
really like to know how it got leaked.
You know, and that's where I go to, yes, it is a bit of coincidence, but the person who was in a short time frame after was no longer in their position could have been due to PCS or as a result because they were the one who leaked it, one of the two. And it would make sense. And it would make sense to me for it to be that person because where his office is located. San Diego. He's stateside. Easy access to the press.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, everybody's easy access to the press at this point.
For all I know, the acting SecNav himself leaked it and just used it as an excuse. I mean, come on.
That is quite possible too. It's the ultimate, fuck, I don't want to do this job anymore. Although we actually used to, when I supported data centers a lot, the EPO button, the emergency power off button, was actually known as the I need a new job button.
Yeah, it's a lot like those red buttons you push at work there, Verbal, or don't push.
Yeah, I don't push those buttons. I haven't pushed those buttons yet. Not until the day I quit.
There's red buttons I could push.
Uh,
I pushed them a couple times.
Marty Moose, I think there is a bit of nuance to it. So he just says, if we blow an Iranian gunship out of the water, would that be the start of a war? Or would Iran just shoot off a missile at an American base and call it even? I think it really depends. Because
A lot of context there that can be played.
Yeah, because I think a lot of it is going to be determined on what patrol
Where does
boat,
it happen?
where does it happen, and also the circumstances of it. Like, was the Iranian ship actually beginning to turn away when they opened fire? If that's...
Yeah, it's. I would say that it's, like I said, highly dependent. Now, we did not go to war when they shot down our drone, because honestly, you could try and argue, yeah, it was over our airspace and the Americans just fudged the data. But when you've got a ship with no question as to where it's at and probably cameras pointed at what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
if we were in the wrong, that might be the first stroke of war. But if they were actually harassing us in international waters, they ain't gonna fucking budge.
Yeah. Yeah, there is...
We have not always been innocent in all cases, so yeah, it kind of depends on the context of what exactly was happening now.
And it also depends on what the actual leadership of Iran decide to do. Because they could use something that, even though they were in the wrong and have a even just mildly violent reaction and correction to a situation from the American military, they could use that as justification. Because here's the thing, the only people that they have to justify it to initially are their own people. Yes, we just did this because look at this fucked up shit that they did. And that would rally public opinion, and then they would have everything going forward from there for the initial outset, at which point then it would become who has the better propaganda machine.
Yeah, it kind of boils down to who has the better evidence to prove they were in the right. Kind of like when Iran was saber-rattling about how they didn't shoot down an Iranian plane. And then when it became extremely evident there were other people with evidence that they did, they kind of shut up.
Yep. Yeah.
But that means that if our boat is in the wrong, we might be a little fucked.
Depends on how much we cover it up.
Yeah, which has happened before. I mean, hell, we had an ally attack one of our ships, and funny, you don't hear about that much anymore, do you?
Story time. I don't know this story.
The whole Vincennes incident.
You don't remember when the Iranians attacked a U.S. warship?
Uh-uh.
Oh, God, what was that, late 70s, early 80s?
Yeah, I was 2. And I'm not in the Navy. They don't teach Army folk these silly Navy stories.
Oh, no, this is actually something that isn't... It's not outright confirmed, but it's not as hidden in hush-hush as it was before. Yeah, it sounds like you're clicking to pull up the article, Eric. Because I forget the particulars, because I remember that it was off the coast, so we're looking Eastern Med.
Are you talking about the Pueblo?
No, the Pueblo was out in Asia.
No, the yeah, I know. Oh, darn it, what boat was that? The one the Israelis attacked.
Mm-hmm. The Liberty, that's it. Cajun Drifter got it. The USS Liberty, which, if I remember right, was a SIGINT ship, signals intelligence, picket ship at the, or at least that was the mission they were on.
Technical research ship.
Yeah.
Signals intelligence. Yeah. Eland.
Because the military loves doing that sort of shit. I mean, how many missions are the Seawolf class subs not allowed to talk about?
What missions?
Exactly.
I think put
They
just about
spend
any
most
of
of their
those
time
stuff.
tied up to the pier.
All right, Liberty was attacked by the Israeli Air Force, and motor torpedo boats. Oh, sorry, I was off by a decade.
Motorboats, what?
Motorboat.
It was June '67 during the 6-Day War.
You got to realize there, Furball, though, the USS Liberty was like a electronics intelligence ship. It's basically just a listener.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, all it is a, light cargo ship that's been converted for like naval use.
Ring my bell to be a special subscriber.
Hello, Karis.
Hello.
To be fair, Karis
Jay-
did get a copy of the After Effects remix.
Jane has been waiting to push that button for months.
Oh, just about a week or two.
Push my button. I thought it was between me and Jared.
A threesome now? Jeez.
Whatever.
Actually, that'd be more at this point.
I can't do that much, guys.
Yeah, wasn't I in this somewhere? I don't want to be left out now.
I'm sure Jay Brown has an answer. There is a soundbite for everything, apparently.
Oh, there is.
Not yet. I'm working on it.
We're almost at the Rule 34 of Karis. But yeah, what some people attribute the incident with the USS Liberty to is wrong place, wrong time, and Israel was really pissed off and attacking literally everyone around them because the Arab world that were their neighbors decided, we don't want you to exist anymore. And they actually all-out war, the 6 Days War, and Israel keeps winning.
I mean, it's not like Israel was seeing red or anything. We couldn't have, maybe thought about that a little bit. before we send a ship out there.
Seeing red, white, and blue.
That's what they saw after that, but just in the diplomatic side of things.
Well, at the same time, to be fair, when one of your allies is taking on 5 different nations, if I remember right, at one point, at the height there, and you're not doing anything to really help them except have your intelligence gathering ship sitting right there. Yeah, don't be surprised when they kind of, what, you want some of this too? To be fair, though, Israel...
Kind of hard to say we weren't doing anything when we were supplying most of their weapons, but,
Yeah, but they wanted more help than that. They wanted actually boots on the ground type of help. They wanted more than just the logistical support. Oh, what'd you find?
I got a new service.
Ooh.
Thinking about redoing some of my After Effects intro stuff. My search is flat Earth, and I keep getting this stuff. I mean, it's like they also know it's a joke or something. Wait,
Have you noticed that under every flat Earth YouTube video now, they've got the Wikipedia page?
Including those that debunk it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm okay with that.
Although it's interesting how many of the talking heads have decided to stop talking about flat Earth.
Holy shit, it's a 417 area code?
Yes, run away.
Oh.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's just you wished. You don't have to worry, Karis.
What we call medicine today, natural medicine did work. And if you understand biochemistry, you understand it's really simple. Off the line.
Okay, I like that one.
What environment does actually
No, gotta go with the other cat.
No?
Okay,
You
so
wish is in my area code?
yeah, who is listening to JM Twoof?
Give you proof. People get sick in every environment.
I'm going to guess it's you wish.
Actually, it looks like Jay.
I'm in 417. I'm just
That's
north of
me.
Springfield.
You're what?
Oh yeah, you guys live in Missouri. You guys live in Missouri, don't you?
Yeah,
Missouri.
Missouri.
No, Missouri.
We don't do any
Missouri.
Missouri here. No.
wrong part of Missouri for that.
I'm Southwest Missouri.
I've spent
Yeah, I'm
half
sorry.
of my damn career in Missouri, and I've never been stationed there. And I pray to God I never have to go back.
How did you manage that one?
Because all military police type training is at Fort Leonard Wood.
Uh-huh.
And I think I've ran out of classes I could attend there.
Hey, give it time. They'll come up with another one.
I was going to say, wait until the bureaucracy hits again, and then you're going to end up back out there for more training.
Fuck that. I've got 2 years to retire.
We do have a really pretty state if you ignore the southwest portion. Just try not to pay attention to the politics. It's horrendous.
But isn't that true of every state? Just ignore the politics.
Yeah.
To one degree or another.
Well, I just find it funny that, nationally speaking, Washington is one of the most blue states out there. Yet locally at the state level, we're Republican red through and through.
Interesting.
Hence all of the protests.
Pretty much. Well, the protest that we had last weekend was basically all the Republicans whining that they can't do anything, and yet it's like, yeah, we need to be healthy, you know.
So I
Not
can
out there.
technically drive out and see you wished right now.
Do you want to?
Wait. What number are you on, you wished?
The 111 number, 417.
No. Are you still at 3?
Heart attacks.
Oh, yes, I'm still at 3.
What?
You need to wait for one more, then go see him.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
what?
Carrie,
Jared, did you have 5?
Yes.
Excuse me.
You has had a plethora of heart attacks, and last year they were taking bets on when all of those would end.
And how?
How many he would have?
Well, wait a second. Okay, Karis, to begin the story, 2.5 weeks before Strike passed away, I had my heart attack. I had my first one, and that was terminal. Fortunately, I got to the hospital in time. They were able to shock me back to life for some weird reasons. But, yeah. Since then, I had one 2 weeks after that, and then I've had one just this last year. So, yeah, we're at 3.
Yeah, I'm not going to see you. I'm tired of causing heart attacks.
Yeah, Jared bet 5, so Uish needs to have his 4th safe one.
I got
and
7,
then you
so
can
come
go
on.
visit him.
Give him a few more.
But understand, Karis, the odds of me actually having a heart attack again are pretty low because I've actually got all the medication.
Don't fucking tell me that. I've been reassured of this shit. Just don't.
Okay, well, I'm going by what my cardiologist said last week. Yeah, we did that little that data transfer, whatchamacallit, and Jared probably just muted the shit out of it.
No, you're still talking.
Still ranting.
I heard a ding. No,
that's my watch.
Oh, was it? No, it was my wife's uncle. I heard a ding in my earphone.
Yeah, so you don't realize though that Karis is a heart stopper.
You
give me far too much credit.
I've heard her voice. I'm the guy that drank myself to oblivion because I couldn't handle her voice on movie night.
I was listening to her reading the back of a cereal box a couple days ago.
Was I doing that a couple days ago?
Well, I was listening to it a couple days ago.
Was I drunk? I don't even own any alcohol right now.
It's residual drunkenness.
Did I really take that much ZQL?
The liquor stores in my state are essential. So
well, NyQuil is the 13th step.
They're essential to the city. Hey, Curious, do you know where Buffalo is in Missouri? In Missouri?
Sadly, Missouri. You're welcome. And yes.
Okay, well, I'm a good bit south of that, but still north of Springfield. Actually, I'm right between the two.
Gotcha. So I could literally drive.
Wait for one more heart attack. Jared needs that extra one.
Yeah, okay, so if you want Jared to win all this, you could just tell him and stop my heart now and leave, and Jared would win automatically by default because I died.
That's great. I'm going to have the handle of Black Widow over my Twitter.
No.
You know, I mean, there's just some things in life, you know? All right, so I came in and heard something about flat Earth, so I'm more interested in that than talking about my own mortality.
Oh, you mean about how people even like ranty don't want to talk about it anymore?
Oh, yeah, because they kept getting their asses handed to them on a platter and they knew it.
Well, actually, more so, ranty was started to actually notice how his friends, who are now no longer his friends, wouldn't actually support the claims that they were making themselves.
This is about everywhere, though.
Hey, come on, though. But I mean, Sleeping Warrior just did the most amazing scientific experiment that proved nothing because he did it wrong.
Sleeping Warrior? Oh, Lord.
Has he even responded to you yet?
No, he hasn't. I don't expect him to. I'm blocked on his channel.
But he is the type to hear that you have video pointed at him and have already watched it. Though if you ask him, no, I haven't. See?
Yeah.
Look! And then you see it there with the full red bar showing that, yes, it's been watched.
But it was nice. He motivated me to actually do another experiment. I'm getting my parts together. Going to go bring out the telescope and prove that no, the moon does not make cold light.
Now
You moron.
Now I'm wondering about the controls to actually show and demonstrate the radiant heating. Which, oh wait, every time someone mentions the cold moonlight, and I ask them how they account for that, they're like, "Huh?
What do you mean?"
Well, of course heat radiates. Yeah.
It radiates up and down back off of objects.
Yeah, it's almost like heat goes in all directions that it can from a medium. Yes, the majority of the SR-71 was made out of titanium and magnesium. It's also why it leaked like a fucking sieve when it was on the ground. Yeah, see, that's where the mute button comes in there.
Away from the thing, and I got my 12-year-old. Yeah, I need to learn to see when Dad's on the phone and not talk.
Or go to a different room.
Now you're sounding like...
I acted off of force of habit here and almost muted you myself.
So I had coffee tonight.
It's never stopped me before, Karis. By all means, go ahead and just do it.
There's quite a few modern aircraft that use a lot of titanium too.
Jay Brown, your
Like military
soundboard is going to start passing a Turing test if you keep this up.
And yeah, Cajun Drifter in the chat has it exactly right about the SR-71. What I was starting to talk about before, some wonderful background noise interrupted everything. The SR-71 would actually end up leaking almost as much fuel as it used just in takeoff. It would actually end up taking off, still leaking fuel, get up to altitude, get up to speed, so the skin of the aircraft would expand and close off the gaps, and then it would immediately have to slow down and hit a tanker. And that is within 5 minutes of takeoff. And then it could go do its mission.
It wasn't the most fuel-efficient aircraft.
No.
Well, here's the funny thing is that, you know, the SR-71, when it was at speed, when it was at Mach whatever, it was actually 1.5 feet longer at that speed than what it was sitting on the ground.
Oh, it's the resource guarding bitch.
It's
Yeah.
Flubble. Oh, there's a dog
No,
too.
it's Snowball.
We're seeing Snowball when
That's
I'm
what I meant. That's what I meant.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Snowball's adorable. Even my wife likes Snowball. She thinks
She's adorable and cuddly when she's not trying to murder my other dogs, which has become a problem recently.
Nice.
Well, see, last week weren't we supposed to have a live on air murder because I said something about my wife? You know, I mean,
Give it time.
Ernest, are you playing the Star
Bridge
Trek Bridge
Commander?
Commander, whatever that is?
Yes.
I have that on my Oculus Quest. We need to play together. I'm just starting to learn it. My kids told me they don't want to watch it anymore because it's boring.
Where do they get these fancy toys?
Oh, you're at K7.
Yeah, I'm just on the cook tutorial.
Yep.
Oh, and Marty Moose asked, they always talk about how it leaked while it was cool. Did you personally see it leak fuel? I've seen the video of it, and I've actually spoken... So my tech rep, when I was in, was one of the... he was a maintainer and spent some time at Kadena, and he saw it firsthand himself there. Unfortunately, I never got to see an operational SR-71.
The Soviets had some titanium subs too.
Yeah, the Alpha.
Not
Yeah.
a very good idea, but they had titanium.
Well, the problem that they had with the Alpha, the titanium hull gave it a really nice test depth, but it was their power plant and the speed that they designed for it made it so freaking loud.
Well, no, it wasn't
Well-
just that either. Like the Alphas had a pretty high test depth, but the problem with titanium though is that in those conditions, it's very
creaks.
brittle.
Mm.
So, like they could go really deep, but they could
They
only
couldn't go
do
back
it.
that deep.
Right, they could, like they can't change depths a lot like that. Like there's a lot of fatigue on the hull from it, so they'd have more refits and stuff. It's a great thing about our boats because our test up wasn't as good, but we can keep going there quite a.
Wait, you want to go up and down like that many times?
Yes.
You had to do it. Check internal chat, and then you said that. God damn it.
Hang on, now I actually want to take a look at the internal chat, so people are going to have to wait for a second. And I didn't even... Wow.
That's great. That's great. Great.
Yeah.
You say that
Start
like
pulling
you're
out the submariner
surprised.
settings. Submariners do it deeper.
And under pressure.
Where's vegan?
She did say she was feeling better, but still not well enough to be on air.
Well, I hope she gets to feeling better quickly. Not just for my sake. I'm not being entirely selfish here, only mostly.
Mostly.
What's wrong? Is she just run-of-the-mill sick, or did she get the Rona?
I don't think she got that, but she was really under the weather where it was a question whether or not she actually did, but I don't think so.
Mm.
At least if she didn't tell me. That's what it was.
Oh, that is sad.
That means you're stuck here. All
Well-
by yourself.
Please, I was a nuke. I'm used to being the only female in a group of people.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut for a little bit then.
Oh my god, really? Are we really doing
To be fair,
No.
here's the kind of week that I had at work. I knew I was going to need to drink
I was
last
gonna be
night.
on an aircraft carrier, not a fucking train.
Giggity.
But yeah, I knew Thursday night that this was going to be a alcohol required end of the week.
And I have none.
And I'm
Wish, turn your
3
fucking mic off.
in? Yeah, if you're not actively speaking,
It's kind of difficult when you're on the phone. Boys!
I see.
There, I took care of it for him.
LRJ88. For one, why do you have a name that is so hard for me to get my mouth around? Two, the phrasing was
Phrasing.
intended.
I knew what you were reading, and that was just the comment you made plus what was gonna. It just wow.
Sorry, it just fell out.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, Marty Moose, I saw that too. They're actually doing performances with the Thunderbirds as well. Like they're going to be performing together.
Well, wait. Are the Blue Angels even allowed to train? I mean, they do get closer than 6 feet from each other.
Well, they're doing formations with the Thunderbirds, so they can't keep that close. So it'll break things up a bit.
Oh, okay. Fair point. The police across the country, however, we're supposed to go to watch them all in practice social distancing.
Depends on where you live.
Yeah.
I had free air shows growing up. I was in a house that was less than a mile from any association.
That's what I loved about being in Colorado Springs was every year for the Air Force graduation for the academy. I had one day, I remember I was on guard duty and standing at the front gate, and there were some stealth fighters just doing laps around the springs. And it was just awesome because we're at the southern end of the springs and they would go overhead. And there was like a formation of 3 or 4 of them flying around and around and around. Then I got off shift and I went home and I heard the jets coming back. And I grabbed the wife. It's like, you got to come outside. This is fucking awesome. And we ran out onto the front porch and looked up. And it was a bomber that felt like it was a stealth bomber. It felt like 50 feet above my head, just hovering there as it went by.
I love those.
That's what I felt when those galaxies would land at Oceana. They were just like sitting still in the sky.
Or the Growler, the F-18 variant that replaced the EA-6B. When that thing is fully loaded with the jamming equipment and it's doing its best, it looks like it's going to fall out of the air.
Yeah, the thing though with like the Galaxy is like when it's doing 200, it looks like it's standing still. I mean, it's just so fucking big.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Karis, did I age shame you?
You saw it. Ugly German Truth says at BM Furball, hovering or hoovering?
Both.
The hoovering was after because we were both so turned on by it. Which nobody has ever said about anything ever with the Navy.
I wasn't paying attention. What'd you say?
Nothing.
Sweet.
Wait. Hey, Furball.
Yeah.
Which branch has the better movie that was a recruiting stint?
If you're talking about the show with that short little guy that believes in Scientology, something about flying planes. I don't remember the name. It wasn't that good.
Top Gun?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Yeah, it's and see here's the difference.
We had Pauly Shore in the Army now.
And for the record, Jared and I are about the
It's
same.
okay, we forgive you.
We have down Periscope.
Yes, we have better documentaries. Speaking of, down Periscope is what we watched on Wednesday.
Yes.
Oh, God damn it. I should have told me.
Sorry, we don't have
did. It was on Discord.
Sorry, we don't have any Marines
I've
here.
been busy lately.
NA says hot shots. I
So
prefer part D.
Where is Main Gun when we need him?
Nice.
And you know what? I have to agree with Ugly German Truths. Sergeant Bilko is way more superior than in the Army now. Also, Top Gun, Navy is like number 27 amongst... Wait a minute. Who are the ones who can legitimately say that they have drank an English town dry? No,
And that's within like the last year.
see, I'm not sure about the last year, but back in the mid-2000s, the first visit of an aircraft carrier to England since the 60s, they drank the town of Portsmouth dry on the first day.
Okay, so now I'm not totally correct.
This is what a can of whoop ass looks like, guys. Right here. And this is only 16. There's still 8 more behind here to go.
Yeah, but I mean, how much does it take to drain Portsmouth dry? I mean, they're basically churches and shipyard.
And pubs.
And a lot of fun.
pubs.
I was still a fundamentalist at that time. I guess I didn't see that part.
A lot of pubs.
I'll stand corrected. Also,
I'm glad I got out of my face.
LRJ88. God, that rolls off the tongue. It said you were told half an hour before. No excuses there. You know to what that refers. I just thought I'd.
Yeah, that's apparently for their movie night where they watch down Periscope. I have a family and children that I have to pay attention to once in a while.
Down
Excuses?
Periscope is a family show.
It's very much a family show.
It could be worse. We could be watching Apocalypse Now.
More than that, because it is a regular thing at this point now.
I've missed 2 weeks of this.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, somehow I just show up when you guys are watching.
Yes.
I joined to watch a Star Trek video and came in, and it was Japanese girls using their asses and titties to fight each other, like MMA style, and the only parts of their body that could come into contact were asses and boobs.
Oh, don't forget they had fighting
And
stuff.
they had some interesting techniques. What was it? The ass vacuum was one of them.
The vacuum butt cannon.
Yeah, the vacuum butt cannon.
Vacuum butt cannon. You had the butt missile. You had the asteroid. They're in bathing
That's what I
suits.
walked into to watch Star Trek. I hate to admit that I did not walk away because that's kind of like a car wreck. You can't. You have to sit there and watch because you're not sure what you're looking at and you're trying to understand it. But no matter how much you watch it, you can't understand it. And the more that is me when I walk into their movie nights.
Then again, I mean, at least me and Jared are Navy, so we're like born pros. Who else here is Navy?
Everyone
Jay,
except
me.
Oh really? Like everyone here is Navy. Oh.
Other than
except
me.
Furball.
And I'm still active duty.
Now, to be fair, the description you gave that the other show that we were watching before is more fitting for that description. Which, by the way, did you ever go back and watch the episodes that you missed of Goku Dolls?
I did not. I did not even turn around and look at Goku Dolls more. I am more enthralled with the boob butt MMA.
Oh yeah, don't forget there was the over-the-shoulder tit throw.
Oh.
I have a feeling we're gonna have to, at the worst case, get a clip show of these moves together, just so Karis can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, and this isn't porn. This is just like regular anime.
So regular porn.
No, it's
true,
it's actual anime, not hentai.
Yeah, that's my point.
Hey, Furball, I just sent you a link to something you can watch in GTA Online. It's right up your.
Yeah, so while I was in Korea, let me get back over here and turn on the
you were in
camera.
Korea. Never mind. All right.
I was in Korea for a year by myself. And the Koreans are fanatics of the little grabby machines. And they have the stupidest shit in the grabby machines. Sometimes they've even got like the little claw grabber games.
Oh, okay. Okay. You have to remember who you're talking to here. Little grabby machines could mean things that you don't necessarily mean. Yeah, I guess that could.
So because Asia grabby.
The claw machines.
You just said South Korea and then said grabby machines and talking about anime.
Well, with that, inside the claw machines / grabby machines, they had the weirdest things, to include this.
Ah, yes, I remember that.
Yeah, her skirt even comes up. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that practice for something?
And this was in an arcade. I mean, hey, she's like a futuristic cop type thing because she's got a little pew pew laser thing and handcuffs. Yeah.
She looks like anime Caitlyn from League of Legends.
I'm thinking the handcuffs kind of turned BM Furball on, and that's the reason why I went and got it.
This is the only time I tried to pull one of these out of the machine. I promise.
And then if you got it, you wish you hadn't.
That is a glorious memory of the year I wasted in Korea.
Well, there's the furball that you have with you now too.
That too.
I don't remember half the time I was on the carrier.
I see a replay of a ship blowing up over and over and over.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it's lovely, isn't it?
And transfixed.
That's what a Mark 48 does to a destroyer.
Well, I was going to say that. So Marty Moose says, recently watched Star Trek, the original series, season 1. I thought the episode Balance of Terror was a very clever way to adapt a World War II submarine story to space. And it's actually rather fitting. That is what they were going for. They were actually going for that submarine warfare style of interaction, which is what it would very often be like in realistic reality is out in space. It's also, they use that sort of storytelling style for the second movie, Wrath of Khan, as well. And actually, interestingly enough, Ricardo Montalban and Will Shatner were never on set together during the entire filming process of that movie. So does that speak to better directing and editing, or is Ricardo Montalban just that good of an actor?
He's just that good of an actor.
Yeah, because we know it ain't Shatner.
How dare you speak so poorly about the great William
Well,
Shatner?
Here's the thing, though. Shatner really didn't hit his stride as an actor until T.J. Hooker.
Sure.
And that was probably the best that he's acted ever in his career.
Well, the other thing with Shatner, his delivery like that, those random pauses, there was actually a reason behind it other than, what the hell are you doing?
What?
Yes. That.
What are you talking about?
Are you playing with it again?
What?
Aren't you supposed to mute when you play with it like that?
Oh, sorry. Is that distracting? I'll put those away.
No, I have a feeling what you were playing with, and it was probably a good thing that the camera wasn't on, because YouTube don't like that kind of stuff. Now, my question is, was it the personal, or was it the work issued?
Oh, these are the work issued.
So they're the good ones. All right, then.
Not the fuzzy ones.
I don't like the fuzzy ones. That's
fuzzy,
pathetic.
the fuzzy ones are just there for window dressing for the people who, look at me, no, fuck that. If you're gonna do it, just go for the real feeling.
Metal or leather?
I don't know. I've got a friend of mine that works.
Are you asking or stating?
Has a
Both.
pair of slipovers. He has slipover fuzzies and slipover leathers that work great on those. So he says.
Now, I have known police officers that have carried around official work duty pink handcuffs just to make big badasses feel emasculated when he puts them on them.
Nice.
Yeah,
They're
he's a
pink
walking jail. Those don't. That didn't go over too well.
They're pink with Hello Kitty stickers on them, right?
Yeah. There's a couple of Dallas officers that carry them like that.
Yeah, it's not so funny when the guy's so big that you've got to use 2 sets of handcuffs, though, to get him to reach, because his arms can't come together behind his back.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the reason why most DPD officers in Dallas carry 4 sets of handcuffs in their duty rig, so that they can carry 2 pinks and 2 standards. That way you can have, those really, really big guys when they really want to be Billy Badass, they can be locked up in the pinks, and if they can't put their arms together behind their backs, well, here's 2 of them for you.
I don't want to hear you talking about locking a guy up in his pink.
Well,
Fuck.
Ugly German Truce does have a point too there for you, Furball. As long as they feel emasculated and not turned on, because keep in mind, not mutually exclusive.
True. It's true, but you know what? I'm not going to be in the cage they're about to be thrown in.
No, that's what you wished us for.
No. I've only been to jail once on a DWI. Thank you very much.
I've not yet been.
Yeah, I've never been to jail, prison, or anything close.
I was arrested-ish when I was 18 for underage consumption.
I was stopped and like 8 cop cars were there, but
They had nothing else to do.
They didn't.
well, you wish could guess that in a small town, when everybody is just doing nothing and somebody happens to be at the dam well after closing time. I didn't know it had been closed. And then somebody else in the vehicle had left their boots back behind us under a tree. People are going to get amused and everybody's going to swarm to the scene just to get a look at this stuff.
My hometown didn't have 8 police officers.
I don't think all of them had been on duty. I got the impression that some of them put on their uniform in order to come over.
Well, yeah, that happens. I mean, especially in small towns. I mean, my hometown of Midlothian, Texas. That was the case. We had 3 officers that worked full time, and then we had 9 reservists. And if it was something really amusing and something really interesting, everybody got dressed and came on out to see it.
Larry, I did not get frisked. I just want to put that out there.
And
I was never told to leave the vehicle.
That and there is just no.
Another person in the vehicle was, but
I'm sorry.
and I had to quickly.
You say frisk, and I keep thinking of epic rap battles, Clinton versus Trump. You're just pissed because your hands are too small to stop and frisk. If y'all haven't seen that, y'all need to go see that. That is hilarious.
And I did get my clothing back on before they came to the car, so that's good.
Oh, wait, whoa. There's a story of the 20 minutes or so before this incident we're missing.
Maybe.
We don't need to know all of it. Use our imaginations. Oh, wait, I forgot. You're Army. You have none.
I am not Army.
He was talking to Furball, unfortunately.
I don't need imagination. I've lived it. What was it you said? I rarely got to leave the carrier?
No, I forgot most of my time.
A lot can happen on a carrier.
Yeah.
There are a lot of spaces to hide.
Like the mail room.
No. I had a friend of mine that worked in the engineering department, and he went to his rack one night, and a girl from the aviation ordnance department was in his rack waiting on him.
Oh.
And
so,
there was nothing between her and God but a sheet.
So, this would be like personally an awesome thing to achieve. I've never been on a carrier. But how secure is the aircraft bay, and how secure are the cockpits?
The cockpits
Because
are very
that would be fun.
The cockpits of the actual aircraft quite secure. As for the hangar bay itself, dude, that's one of the
Not
main
secure.
places that everyone walks through.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't go in there to bang.
No.
No.
It really depends on your disposition.
Well, it depends on your disposition, time of day, and the aircraft you're actually going with, because
And your fondness for getting masted, take that how you will.
Yeah. Yeah, so you only get masted in that situation if you get caught. Now, I will say
You get the mask twice.
I will say a Greyhound is probably the best place to do it. If you're going to do it on an aircraft carrier and you want something awesome like that, the Greyhound's probably the way to go. Either that or the E2.
Mailroom.
Yeah, the COD is not on board long enough usually, so you'd have to either go with the Hawkeye or Hilo if you're going aircraft, simply from the logistics of the amount of room you're going to have.
Yeah.
How about on any of the catwalks underneath the deck, just hanging above the ocean top?
No,
And over the rail.
That some of those are
Bring a blanket.
Depends upon the carrier and the commanding officer and the XO. Some of those are considered smoking sponsons. So yeah, not a good idea there either.
So you can't play I'm the King of the World?
No.
No.
Well, I mean, you play the King of the World. It's dark, but you're not gonna see much, so it doesn't really make any sense to do that.
There are a couple catwalks that are open air right by the deck edge, but again, timing and bring a blanket.
Yeah.
Welcome to BTW.
or the mailroom.
Or the mailroom. There is a story there. If you know about the mailroom, there's a story there I just got to know about.
No, you don't.
No. Some stories are better left untold.
I think you got the point.
My wife's looking at me shooting daggers with her eyes going, am I going to shoot you when I watch the replay of this? Probably.
Just know that. Just go ahead.
There
Just
would
gonna
have been
leave you
some
out in the
perfect.
hell.
There would have been some perfect spots on the submarine. Now think about it though. In retrospect.
Yeah, I'm thinking the mailroom, you've got counters to be bent over and sorting tables to lay down on.
And the rolly chair.
Outboard
got-
the
yeah,
starboard
chairs.
MSW pump.
I liked the rolly chair.
Port side aft on the O2 level with a very interesting access point was actually a storage room for a lot of the AO's equipment, the bomb racks and missile racks. A lot of space and a lot of little places to get away with shit back there. So much so that one of those storage areas was actually used to manufacture illicit narcotics just before I arrived on the boat.
Oh,
That's
no! If
ballsy.
you're gonna find a space to do it in on a carrier, if they're still around, and I know that they're going to be putting these back into use, the BA room in the flight deck, in the catapult control rooms, and in the catapult control space, there used to be a saltwater circulation for the flight decks to cool the flight decks down when we were actually flying the F4 Phantoms off of the deck.
LRJ88 says, I can tell that the people from the village weren't all wrong about what goes on in the Navy.
But to be
Well,
phase,
hang on. There's a reason why a lot of the old timers really did not like the idea of integrating the ships with female crew members.
I thought they would have been all for it, but
I was
Yeah, I was
on
about
the
to ask
first.
Eric, his stories from the submarine pre or post when they had female integration.
Free.
Yeah.
They didn't even start.
No judgment. No
didn't
judgment.
start-
I mean, just it's okay.
Wait,
even I couldn't go on a sub at the time that I was in, and that was in '04 back then.
We were way into the 2000s before they even
Yeah.
started the initial, even like JOs going, being assigned to subs. They have done it smartly though, because they started from the top down. They started with JOs on some of the ballistic missile subs. And the next phase was them basically getting existing females in the Navy volunteering sub duty and coming over. So you got a lot of chiefs and first classes. So kind of get those senior enlisted positions filled. And then you start recruiting.
wait, you mean the Navy actually did a transition like that correctly?
Yeah,
fuck?
I
isn't that
know.
amazing?
Well, you know why that is. They started off on the Eisenhower with a full female contingent of 300. They rotated all but 30 out before the deployment ended.
Now, how many of those 270 was due to pregnancy?
100% of that.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I can name 4 girls right now that I know of that made that deployment that did not get pregnant, and it was only because they stayed on birth control.
Yeah, now, word of advice to people out there listening. If you know someone who's in the military and they have a supervisor that reminds you of me, tell that entrepreneurial female to never admit when they get pregnant for the sole purpose of avoiding a deployment. Yeah, I made someone cry because I heard that.
Is that technically malingering? No, it couldn't be.
It really goes into a gray area because
Because malingering is harming yourself. But I mean, getting pregnant does harm yourself and the next 18 years of your life.
Well, malingering is when you fake where you're sick and you extend it beyond what the normal course would be for treatment. That would be malingering, as I was taught in the Navy. The pregnancy issue on the carriers was kind of a bad thing in '96 and 2000.
We didn't have any females in the subs. There were plenty on the tender though. So.
Yeah, so for a brief story.
Tinder hose.
Chick was nice. This female was in the Navy for less than a year by the time she got to the shop, and was there on P3 op-dead orders, which meant when she deploys, she just goes to another shore station and gets paid per diem, and does typical regular 9 whatever the shift that they put her on work in the shop is at that point. It's literally getting paid to go work somewhere else, get paid extra, and not have to worry about being stuck on a ship in the middle of the ocean.
Who wants to fucking go to shore? I don't know.
Again, per diem. People make
Do you get per diem on ship?
No, only your P3 opdet and van opdet would get per diem for their deployments. If you're C opdet and went to the ship for the deployment, no per diem for you.
Yeah, I know deployment, even like combat deployment, you get per diem, but it's like $3.50 a day.
Oh no, these people were getting more because their
Oh, yeah.
deployments are to like Misawa, Japan, Okinawa. Even one of them was actually Diego Garcia for 3 months.
Yeah, when I went to Tokyo, it was $180 a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's tempting.
Yeah, so she was in the shop on P3 update orders, got settled in, and a couple months later, hey, you're going to be deploying with this P3 squadron to Misawa in about a month and a half. Make sure your shit's ready. Couple weeks later,
So ugly.
and then a month later, couple weeks before she's due to leave, oh, I can't go. I'm pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah, Ugly German Truths had a question. Is that the crime of shooting yourself in the foot to avoid frontline service? So malingering, yes, that is a crime, and that's what it is. I've actually worked that. I worked that exact case in Iraq. Had a soldier that shot himself in the foot in country to try and get out of country, and he did it in his hooch and tried to claim that it was an incoming round that must have went through his roof or his wall or something. There were no holes in his wall. There were no holes in his floor. And after his chain of command notified us, like, this sounds a little fucking fishy. So we went in and talked to him. He denied, and then we dug through his room.
What did he get on his ASVAB?
Probably like a 3. He was infantry. So what he had done is he had taken the sappy plate out of his body armor, put it under his foot, shot himself in the foot, and then put the sappy plate back into his body armor. I mean, he tried to hide it.
It would have been better had it gone through his foot into the ground.
Yeah, seriously, what he should have done was like aimed it up at the roof, and then hope that we were incompetent enough not to realize that the hole in the roof was an exit, not an entrance. Which we would have known.
Yeah.
But yeah, A for effort. Yeah. F for
Now, I wouldn't even give him an A for effort. I'd give him a D for effort.
A for commitment.
Yes. To do that, you have to be really committed to it.
I mean, he went through extra effort to be even more stupid.
So,
okay, Fino, you got me on that one. He said, at least take it from crewman Dax.
I have another case that I'll have to be really brief on, but it was a person who alleged they were assaulted in their home while their spouse was deployed, and this person fended off the intruder by shooting at them while the intruder was on their bed, and somehow the gun was aimed down instead of up, and they shot themselves in the foot twice.
Oh my god!
The first one was the first one grazed the big toe. The second one went through the foot. And technically, there was nothing we could say to call complete and utter bullshit. But there was absolutely nothing to support the story.
God, I think this is more painful than that bullet wound.
Commitment.
People are... See, this just goes to show that the individual...
Spouse was home 3 days later.
So it served the purpose. But at the same time, that sort of thing is going to put that spouse into the EFP program, which is going to actually really kind of hinder the other half's military career. Which, that's totally not supposed to happen, but... yeah.
Marty Moose asked what the punishment was. I don't know. My only job is to investigate the crime, and then I walk away to the next crime.
You investigate crime, you hand it over to somebody else, and they take care of investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, it becomes a JAG issue.
I'm pretty sure the guy with the hole in the foot got in trouble. He clearly got evacuated out of the country because of medical issues, but he wouldn't have been court-martialed. There wouldn't have been a trial. He probably got a field grade Article 15, busted in rank, owed the Army some money, and then probably got discharged.
Yeah, and discharge would either be a general or OTH.
Yeah.
Why shooting, though? Can't you get yourself run over by a Humvee or something?
The shooting would, I would guess, carry fewer long-term physical effects.
Depends on where you hit, though, and it also adds a story to it.
Right. That's why they go for the foot. I mean, if you just get yourself, in the thigh or something, stitch, patch it up, it's nothing. You're not going to be put out of service. But your foot, you're going to be put out of service, and it'll still heal later.
I also suppose it would probably be easier to come up with an excuse of why you shot yourself in the foot versus why you ran over yourself in the vehicle.
Yeah. Well, and when you look at it another way is, it could also be another factor. If I get away with it, a bullet is a Purple Heart, which gives more benefits.
And you know what? A bullet to the foot is much better than getting run over by a Humvee on a spot that'll end you.
That's kind of what I was going for.
Yeah. Yeah, you can try and get yourself run over by a Humvee, but skulls pop at some point.
Mm. Well, just remember, not everyone can be like good old Forrest. Something bit me.
I said that was $1 million wound, but the government must keep that money.
Well, it's kind of hard to shoot yourself in the ass from like 12 feet away if you're trying to do it to yourself. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's hard.
I don't know.
I know a captain I know a captain that shot himself in the leg because when he was at the range and he holstered his weapon, his jacket was in the thigh rig. Oh. And rather than deholster and pull his jacket out, he just jerked on the jacket.
See, now that's a more intelligent accident to have.
But it was stitches. And that was also CONUS. That wasn't overseas.
Okay. But I mean, if they were going to stage an accident to get themselves out of service, then they need to be smart about it and act like it was just stupidity and not say, oh, I got hit by a rogue bullet that did not go through my tent. It just transported.
It transported millimeters above my foot and continued going.
Well, I don't know.
Somehow my armor got dislocated and then I put it back. Here I am.
I've been on the range with some real Class A idiots. I mean, and these guys are working security, and some of them worked with me. Some of them worked for me. And I watched one guy literally go from he had a waist holster, and then he had a thigh holster. Why the fuck do you have two holsters? You don't need but one. But he went to holster in his thigh holster and left his finger on the trigger as he put it in, put a round straight down through his thigh, through his calf, into his heel.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, man, that's a .40 caliber bullet. Damn, that's going to hurt. He was bleeding everywhere. We were, trying to administer first aid, but, ambulance took him away, and the instructor goes, well, he failed. I was like, thank God I don't have to worry about him.
LRJ88 says, what happens if you have some complete and utter dumb fuck who manages to pop a cap in your foot instead from the floor above you?
Well, then it's not you. You wouldn't get the disciplinary action. Motherfucker above you would.
Yeah.
Before or after
I know
I
I've
kick
told
his
this
ass.
story before. I've told this story here before, but I still love it. In Iraq, I was going to brief a battalion commander, and on the wall outside of his office had all of his Article 15s, or as you Navy folk would know, Captain's Mass, of everything that had happened during the deployment. And we're just sitting there waiting to brief the battalion commander, and we're reading over it, and it's like, alcohol consumption, adultery, alcohol consumption for shooting Private Johnson in the chest with an inert 203 round. Alcohol consumption. Wait, whoa.
What?
Whoa.
Wait a minute, I want this story.
I never got the story, but I wanted that story so bad.
Hey, good to see you, Daily Atheist. Yep, and we will see you in the morning there, buddy.
Yeah, there are two possibilities. Either the soldier was pissed off at Private Johnson and shot him with a 203 round, or Private Johnson had his body armor on and was standing there waiting for it. I can do it. Oh, do it now. Do it now.
Come on.
Both are just as likely. I want to know the story.
Although the latter may be more likely.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys in the Army are one step away from being crayon eaters. Okay,
That's true. And if it was story number 2, there was a 5-minute back and forth of, it's the inert one, right? Yeah, it's the inert one. Show it to me. No, it's the inert one, right? I want to see it again. Okay, it's got. You didn't just color that with blue Sharpie, right? It's really the inert one, right?
Oh, good Lord.
And the inert ones are just blue chalk. So poor Private Johnson came back to his tent that day looking like a fucking Smurf.
Well, now if it dyes you blue, then it may be the former, not the latter. It may be that the dude was pissed off at Private Johnson and decided to teach him a lesson. Here's three for you. Here's an inert M203 for you. Yeah. Let's see you go. Let's see you go out with it being a bright blue creature and see you make it back to your bivouac.
Hey man, who pissed you off today? Just look for the Smurf later on. You'll see.
It begs the question: do those things act like dye packs in bank robberies, where it dyes you as well?
It's just powder.
Oh,
it's chalk. Yeah.
But what happens when the chalk interacts with water? Is they're trying to? I'm wanting this to turn into a blue dye, so he actually has to walk around for a week or two.
No, it's not like what happens when you pull the fire alarm at the school.
I don't know. I never did that. I got accused of it once, but I never did it.
Sure.
No, I was actually already in the lunch line when the fire alarm got pulled. I know who pulled it, but they never found out.
He has witnesses that corroborate that he was at the line.
Ugly German Truce does have a good question. Better question: was Private Johnson male or female? Has some importance for the chest in question.
I don't know. I did not get that far. The write-up on Article 15s is about 2 sentences long as to what your crime was. And then it goes on to what your punishment will be.
Seaman Johnson.
Yeah, no.
Well, that would have been the Army.
I was never in the Navy.
Surprisingly large.
First of all, it would have been a way better story if it said Private Johnson got shot in the Johnson.
Private Johnson got shot in the private. Wait, what?
Hey, sir, you can't say dick on the Article 15 paperwork.
Phallus
Oh, no. My wife found an article last week. Oh, my God. This dude went to go rob a bank and shoots himself in the Johnson with his old pistol.
Ooh.
Trying to pull it out.
You know,
sounds like
I've
a
shot
great
myself
plan.
with my Johnson.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've shot myself with my Johnson while trying to pull it out, but
Excuse me,
not
I'm gonna
in
take
it.
the president's advice real quick. I'll be back.
Thanks for all. You had to make her social distance from us.
Wait. NANA. Is there such a thing?
Read my comment to NANA.
Agreed. I agree with the blasphemy part, which is why I ask, is there such a thing? G-stream? Is that related to G-strings?
Probably a result.
Now a question
Well,
regarding...
you mentioned dicks and semen.
All right, so, here's a good one. What is the dumbest injury you've seen in the military?
Ooh.
I had a soldier in my platoon in 2000 when I was in Bosnia. So in the Navy, what's it called if you're injured and you can't do something? In the Army, it's called a profile. You're on a profile that says you can't run. You're on a profile that says you can't do push-ups.
LLD.
Light limited duty.
Light limited duty. Yeah. Limp dick.
And it specifies exactly what you can't do, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He got a profile to not masturbate because he had chafed himself so raw.
What?
Oh. He must have been using the sandpaper.
No.
And he showed the profile to us. He was proud of it. He showed it to everyone.
Wait a minute. Wait. I thought that kid was too young to be in the Army. What the fuck?
No, it was not pig. It was not pig.
Oh my goodness.
That's what you get when you're using that one-ply toilet paper.
Yeah. This is also the same guy that was into granny porn. And then after he failed his PT test too many times and he was about to get booted out because of it, we were trying to encourage him to actually start exercising so he could lose weight before he got out. And he's like, no, I'm going to do that when I get out. I'm just going to take advantage of this now. Well, what? No.
Well, if you masturbate a bunch, then that's a lot of calorie burning. So you do get the problem of chafing.
Yeah, they have things for that. It's called lube.
We were also living 8 men to a hooch. So he was not in my hooch. Thank God. I'm not sure where he was doing it. He was probably doing it in the porta shitters.
Oh god, I think that is a soundbite.
Oh shit! You definitely don't want to.
If I were more religious, I'd say I'm going to hell at this point. But
Leon asks, "Are you sure this isn't pig?"
Could be one of Pig's relatives.
Yeah, I was gonna say a cousin.
Yeah.
But no, there is one worse that I am aware of, and I thought it was a joke until someone just had to mention the guy's name to the squadron that was involved. So, the E2C Hawkeye has an HF radio, a high-frequency radio, that utilizes a drogue and wire system for its antenna, where it will actually spool out almost a mile long of just thin copper wire as its antenna. The thing with HF is it's a high-power radio. It needs to be. One genius in the squadron decided to utilize it for some male enhancement. and taught a friend of his in the squadron to key the microphone for him.
Oh.
Hey, Furball, what happens when you leave a ballpark Frank on the grill for just a little bit too long?
It splits.
It splits wide open.
Yeah.
Wait a second, Jerry. Okay, it requires two questions. Was the radio single sideband? And how much power are we talking about? Because I know it's about 300 watts, which is about what I use on my HF. It will do that, but it takes several wraps around the ballpark Frank to do it.
Oh, no. He was straddling over it as it was played out, and the HF transmitter on the frequency that they were at was at 500.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, but still, the question is, did his friend have to yell into the mic or speak into the mic to get the radio to transmit?
Nope, just had to key
And
it.
what did he say?
Yeah, there goes your dick.
Testicles. That is all.
I don't know, Jared, at NDOT in Pensacola, did you hear about the guy that got with the 3 strippers in Pensacola?
No, the only thing I heard was look but don't touch, and don't you dare consider sticking your dick in it, at least unless it's triple wrapped. I think it was because of that guy.
No. The story's even better because I know the guy that this happened to. We're straight out of boot camp. We go to a strip club. He hooks up with 3 of the strippers. He gets to the stripper's apartment. The first stripper does him. He goes limp. He can't get it up because it's been a while since he's, performed at that level. The first stripper he did got pissed off because he couldn't get it up for the second and third. So what does she do? She takes a pencil, hits it in back, right down the hole.
Yeah.
18 stitches, and the 3 strippers got arrested and charged with sexual assault.
Can we start telling stories of torn labias now?
Yeah.
Oh, where's the bleach? Where's the bleach?
Furball, those stories are called childbirth.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Except usually it's not a torn labia; it's the perineum. But
yeah. Let's see. That's what the is that called? Is that the episiotomy? What do they call that?
yeah, sometimes they're more necessary than other times.
I know what life they did. They did the episiotomy once, and I got the daddy stitch, so I was grateful for that.
All right, we got 3 people left with the dumbest injury they've had in service. Cannot involve genitals.
Well,
I think that rules out quite a bit.
Damn it.
I don't know. The dumbest injury I ever suffered in service, I punched a bulkhead and broke my hand. Ended up with boxer fracture in the car.
You know that most ships are made of metal, and metal's hard.
No,
Do you remember who you're talking to right now?
It's true.
I wasn't,
it's true.
I wasn't even on the ship.
What was your ASVAB score?
No, here it is. I was at Fort Leonard Wood when I did this.
Okay, and that excuses us how?
You still said bulkhead. Bulkheads are never made out of pillows.
Well, wait. No, some are. It's generally not
We
good
don't
if
want to
you're
be in
there.
those rooms.
Yeah, there's one room that is.
Your pillow fort doesn't
bulkheads.
count.
Okay, Tech, what do you have?
Well, I do have the instructor that managed himself doing that really stupid thing in school. I told you that in Busy 1, of course, we had equipment that used high freak power. Yeah, so one of the things we did have was a solid state freak converter. Took ship service power in on one end and output 120 volt, 400 hertz on the other end. The instructor that pulled the power off the back of the ship service power off the back of the unit without cutting power first.
Yeah,
threw him against the bulkhead and ripped the unit off the floor.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go listen to the Storm Spotter net. So I'll catch you guys later.
Some impressive sparks.
Later. It's the high voltage version. Well, no, it's the highly energetic reaction version of what I saw one of my guys that I actually fired from my shop in Japan on, because told him to grab a test set because it needed to go down to the Cal lab for its routine calibration. Guy takes a couple clips off of it and then grabs the power cord. And I hear him say, "Ow." I turn around and look as he reaches for it again, grabs it. I see a little shudder and him go, "Ow." I scoop back a little more to get a better view as he reaches for it for a third time. I yell at him to stop him before he grabs it this third time and ask him, "The fuck is wrong with this picture?" "What?" It's like, what's missing? What isn't there that should be? "Well, you told me to take it down to Cal." It's like, yeah. Why'd you take off the grounding clips already? Oh, he clipped one back on and was able to disconnect power with no issue.
If you keep getting electrocuted while you touch something and you don't take any further steps before you touch it again, that's just Darwinism at its finest.
Or how about remembering, hey, this is being powered by a ship. We're on the ship in the middle of the ocean. There's no earth ground, so guess what is the ground? The casing of everything. I disconnect the ground loop. I become the path to ground.
How many head injuries are there on ship?
Too many. How many get reported? Less than
enough. There was only
1%.
There was only one spot I ever had to duck at, but I mean, you'd hit it if you didn't know it. But like, if you're on the port side of the boat, you're coming around, heading aft around Shaft Alley. Just as you make this turn, there's like some steps over the shaft, and that exact same spot, there's a big, gigantic brass crank hanging from the overhead. That's one of the manual crank valves for the one of the vents for the ballast tanks. And if you don't know it's there and you don't duck before you make the corner, your head's going to hit that valve.
Oh no, Tech, you're forgetting something, and Nikki in the live chat has it right. They had a civilian taking a tour of their boat, and they forgot to duck when going down the ladder.
Oops.
Oh, no.
Ugly German truths about the guy you were talking about, Jared. Oh, Furball, sorry. He says, but it's interesting that he didn't have a lot of resistance as dense as he seems to have been.
Oh, so true.
There was no ladders I had to go down there to duck, though. So that was the only spot I had to duck, was that one.
Well, keep in mind, their main ladder coming from outside the skin of the ship inside. And at the angle it's at, keep in mind, if you're not used to it, what do most people tend to do when they're going downstairs like that? They look forward and slightly lean forward to watch where they're going. You're going to hit your head on the other side of the opening if you do that.
The stairwell leading down
into... too, but...
Yeah, the boat I was on like a month ago, the stairwell leading down into the torpedo bay was fucking narrow. And I had a civilian with us that was probably 80 pounds overweight, and he had a fun time squeezing through that.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Wait a minute. Wait. Jessica G. The fuck? Was anyone else in modern day debates and see JM Truth saying that he has a medical degree equivalent?
Oh God, do I need to download that?
Fuck.
All right, subscriptions.
Sorry, but a master's in pamphlet making does not a doctor make.
Oh, let's see. Not quite soon enough yet for me to download the full thing. I went for an hour and 20 minutes, and they
How
just
did
ended
he
8
say
minutes
he
ago, so I
had
need
this
to give it.
equivalent?
JM Truth loves to say and assert that he's the only one in the debunking community who has an advanced degree. He has a master's of marketing of technical. What was the specifics of it there, Jay?
Give me a second. I'll pull it up.
No, it's not marketing. It's
a marketing degree. It's
like design.
Mike
Media
71 says he said he was a medic.
He was in the Army. He was a medic.
That's not the equivalent
Instructional
of a degree.
design and technology major.
Yes,
Masters of
instructional
Science.
design. Yep. Yeah, so he was a medic in the Army. He did deploy as a medic, and he was an ER medic.
Who got whored out to all other departments because, wait, they only do that if you're shit at your job.
Jessica G says he also said eating vegan cures cancer. Ugly German Truth says I don't eat vegans. They cry always so loud when you cut into them.
you know,
where's Coral when we need her?
You know, if only she was feeling better, she'd be here. And but so the last couple of weeks I've been really busy at work despite all of the nonsense going on. And one of our primary clients that is still operating is a large-scale production kosher bakery. I mentioned to someone after spending the majority of a week there working on one problem that they were having that I was kind of sick and tired of working in the kosher bakery. There were just too many screams when they would kick on the ovens.
Oh God, you're going to hell for that one. Copy.
He does it in the Q&A if you want to find out the spot.
I need a quote-unquote shower.
All right. Looks like I should be able to download. Nope, not yet.
Jessica G, from what we can tell, he was actually in. But when he,
so I interviewed him last year, and from me talking to him, I am confident he was in the military. He did go through medic school. He did do what he said. He probably embellished. Yeah, he probably embellished a lot, just like everybody else that's ever been in the military has. But I've also never claimed, 7 levels above my ability.
Again, let me point out to this master's degree that took him 12 months. Yeah. Shall I pull up the course schedule?
That only means he's extra genius. I got my master's in only 12 months. Look how smart I am.
Yeah, but
don't put that on the soundboard.
Too late.
So much for passing the Turing test.
No, it's so it's not that he washed out. So here's the thing. I know the hospital that he completed his career at, Madigan, down at Joint Base
Lewis McCord.
Yep. I know of that place because that's actually where the specialist that my first child needed to see when we got back stateside was located. And civilian doctor, not active, thankfully. But between experiences talking with staff there and also having conversations with my brother, who was also a combat medic for the Army for a while, who actually completed his stint down at Fort Sam. And I mentioned to my brother how JM had said that, oh yeah, I was at Madigan in the ER, but I also went around to these other departments. I mentioned that bit alone to my brother, and he was like, yeah, no, an E5 being sent around to all those different departments, no one fucking wanted him. That's what it was. It wasn't that he was needed for any reason. It was the place he was assigned didn't fucking want him because he was a fuck up.
Trying to get rid of him.
So, if I remember correctly, and I haven't watched that interview in a long time, he deployed. He never went into detail what happened during the deployment, but for some reason or another, he came back early. And he kind of insinuated that it was a PTSD type thing that brought him back. And then once he was back at Madigan, back then we did not have units for broken people. Now we have that's a unit. You get broken and your unit can't use you anymore. You go there. That way you can get better. Back in this time frame, you were your unit's burden, and they took care of you even though they couldn't use you. And what he'd said is that he was trying to get help for whatever happened downrange, and they talked him into taking like a compassionate discharge for some reason, which basically revoked all of his rights for further medical care. Which I don't necessarily dispute that, because the Army was kind of shit at the time. The basis for all of it that got him there, I don't know. We didn't go into those details, and he didn't feel comfortable discussing them. But remember, he's a modified sniper.
Yeah. Which goes back to the whole thing. At one point, JM did capture and release a redacted version of his DD-214, but with a lot of the claims that he's made, what he redacted raised a lot more questions than it was ever intended to answer. I think
he took a lot of I think that he has taken a lot of little things that happened in his career and made them pinnacles of it.
Yeah. Well, and when he released that, the video he released that on, I left a comment saying, I understand why you're doing this and what you did and what your intent was. However, here is the unforeseen consequence. It's raising and creating more problems than you thought it would solve. And he and his then cohort Shelley really got pissed at me because I was telling them, this isn't doing what you thought it would. They tried to say that I was challenging in his service and saying he's lying. No. I was simply saying, you're making it more difficult on yourself. Is that the phony?
He also has a Master's of Science. So that Master's is what he considers his Master's of Science. And what was it, Jay?
Of Science. Technical Design and Instruction.
Instructional Design and Technology. And here's the course layout for it.
That's because this particular degree is under the umbrella of science. That doesn't make you a Master of Science.
Well, he still has yet to answer my question about this coursework. Which one of these 12 courses included a laboratory component?
The closest one that I could think of, and again, this is just me looking at the titles. The closest one I would think of would be Music and Audio for Instructional Design and potentially the Filmmaking Principles.
Which one of these would include any class about physics that would make you capable of having discussions about astronomy?
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about, like an actual laboratory component where you actually have to work with the scientific processes and everything. Or where's the advanced mathematics?
Did you say processes?
Yes.
Just wondering. I'm going to hell.
Okay, what did I miss?
We're talking about Trump in the side chat.
Oh.
I'm not. I can't. He's still my boss.
That's true.
And Muskegon does have a point. Don't forget to mention that it's from a non-accredited...
That is totally meant for game design, and that's about it.
So, non-JM question, but since we're talking about DJT there for a second, if I retire in 3 years, who do you guys put your money that's their signature is going to be on my retirement certificate?
Pence.
Think Trump will get elected again?
I hate to tell you this, but I think it's almost certain now.
I think it's quite possible.
I can't do 5 more years just to get a different signature on my retirement. I can't. I just can't.
I'll be
You might
honest,
have
I have
to.
no idea it's going to be on your signature.
Anamorphic Mind says DJT was told to say it was sarcasm, LOL. And I'm just wondering, can he say, can we get some more of that? Like, every time he says to do something harmful, can we just go back to sarcasm and then we all avoid that thing and everything's good?
Don Giovanni there, Jared?
Yep. We got someone.
What I miss?
Don Giovanni. Oh God, I just got ads for Full Sail University.
Oh my God.
Like, if you're gonna go into game design and like that type of media creativity, Full Sail is definitely a great university to go to, even though it's not accredited and it is for profit. With that said, I would not go there for any sort of other degree.
So if I mention Tampax,
No, wait. Okay, show of hands. Who has their Amazon Echo Dot, whatever, any device like that? Who has it on and is not wearing headphones?
I got headphones on.
If you give me a second, I can set it up so it can
don't
hear
have
you
one.
guys.
oh my God.
I have 4 of them, and none of them are in this room, so unfortunately.
Okay, you have 4 of them. How many have you tried to make any of them talk to each other?
No, they're all in totally separate rooms. They can't talk to each other.
Now I want some.
Oh, what's interesting?
I don't even have one.
People have taken the 2 of the competing non-Apple ones and actually had them talk to each other.
Well, like TV responding to Alexa's calls.
No, my frustration is my iPhone, and it's not as big of a problem now, but back at my last job in Korea, every time I would answer the phone and somebody would call, I was like, "Hey, sir, how's it going?" And my phone would think I said, "Hey, Siri," and would start listening to me and try and answer my question. Daily it happened.
Okay, Jared, it answers to the A word.
You made it answer
Echo.
to anal?
Pretty much. Go ahead and say something.
Oh, do you have the Alexa Silver? Sorry.
No, I have the Alexa Echo Dot Mini.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Hey, Alexa.
She's
Tell
not
me.
getting the feed from you. She's not getting the feed from
Sorry,
you.
I don't know that.
What's the question, Jared?
Go fuck yourself.
Alexa, go fuck yourself.
Hey, Alexa, go fuck yourself.
It just shut off.
I think that's the equivalent of her telling you to go fuck yourself.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, Jay. Can Alexa hear us?
No, apparently not.
Damn
Even
it.
though I've got it set up to do it.
Well, because I was going to say, if you go through the questions about whether or not Alexa is listening in, even when it's shut off, to see if we can see if they're spying on us.
Let me...
And see how many times Alexa just, instead of answering, just turns off.
Damn it, what? The one time I could use earbud headphones really quick. All right, hold on.
You've confused my... Well, we got someone out there. Hey, Alexa, are you listening in?
I have multiple playlists on my Amazon Music, and you get to name them. And you can name them whatever you want, and she will listen to you. And I have one that I can cue by saying, hey, Alexa, play my playlist, Getting It On.
You just had to, huh?
Now I gotta stop it somehow. God damn it.
Alexa, stop playing.
Yeah.
So, Furball, does that have a Pavlovian effect? Hearing that music?
No, it's my effort to let my wife know. It's like, hey, come over here and cuddle. You know what happens? It doesn't work.
See, I have different scents for different things, so I...
Effects.
And see, what's great is that bit was not getting out over air.
What happened?
For some reason...
You stopped because of the music?
No, for some reason, OBS is just like,
Okay,
nope,
Drew, go ahead
nope,
and ask Alexa something. I have my headphones put up to it.
Okay. Hey, Alexa.
So Amazon has discretion.
Hey, Alexa, are you listening to me?
Damn it, not working.
So the audience didn't hear my Pavlovian response.
No, they didn't.
Fantastic.
Alexa, is the NSA listening in to me?
Sorry, I didn't understand that. By the way,
probably.
you can now ask another question without having to first say, Alexa, enable this feature by saying, turn on follow-up mode.
Oh, that's a disaster waiting to happen.
Follow-up mode on.
Turn on follow-up mode.
Alexa, listen to everything I say.
I already do that, Dave.
My favorite is asking it to open the pod bay doors.
Alexa, open the pod bay doors.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. I'm not Hal and we're not in space.
Oh,
See, this is what happens when you have uber nerds programming devices like that. You get Easter eggs like that in there. As a matter of fact, actually, if you go back even into earlier versions of Red Hat on Linux, and if you do a screen capture of some of the scripts that scroll by, you'll get random Star Trek and other sci-fi references in the coding responses for no other reason beyond they could. Oh, we're setting one off.
I think
over
we
in
just
the
turned
UK.
on. Did I just turn on somebody's follow-up?
Alexa, is pineapple on a pizza the preferred pizza?
Yes, it is.
Here's something I found on the web. According to Blizzard.com, fresh pineapple is excellent, but not on a pizza.
Fuck you, Alexa. Your makers.
Alexa,
of
who's your favorite Star Trek character?
Data.
My favorite is definitely Data.
Understandable. Does she play Skyrim?
Alexa,
do you play Skyrim?
Okay, here's Skyrim Very Special Edition. Skyrim Very Special Edition contains mature content that may not be suitable for all ages. Would you like to continue?
No.
Alexa, did someone take your sweet roll?
Would you like to continue?
No, I said.
Would you like to continue?
God damn. She
doesn't want to take no for an answer.
It sounds familiar.
Alexa doesn't know the meaning of consent.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay, well, I'm getting off for the night. Have a good night, everyone.
Night, Burns.
Night.
Later, man.
Would you like to continue?
Wait, was that Karis or Alexa?
You'll never know.
Fair point. Oh, wow.
What?
Well, I know what I'm watching when we go off air. In the Discord server, Nikki Daly just posted a Goku and Barus argue about pineapple pizza.
Oh boy.
There is no other way to eat pizza.
I agree.
As long as it's not with a knife and fork. Well, actually, that's a good question. Pizza, knife and fork. When is it acceptable?
When it's too hot to hold.
You got that, Jay?
Never.
No.
Knife and
You
fork
got.
is acceptable to use when it's too hot to hold.
Did you get that in your soundboard?
I will. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Would you like me to continue?
I've never had pizza that's too hot to hold. The only time I say that it's acceptable is when it's.
I could
get
see
soundboard ready. When it's too floppy and you can't handle it with your hands.
I would have to agree that a knife and fork is acceptable when there are too many toppings to otherwise manage what's going into your mouth. God damn it!
I can only take so much meat.
That one's going on the soundboard too.
You intentionally did that one, though.
She did.
Daddy, my ears are bleeding. Me. Stop.
You're just evil. That's all I'm saying is evil.
Would you like me to continue?
Yes, please.
There's the number of fingers. Actually, never mind. He's gonna put me in the new Alexa.
Wow.
I will figure out a way to code your voice in there.
Oh my god.
You know, there were a couple comments there where I couldn't tell if it was actually Alexa or you.
Would you like me to continue?
So Jessica G just asked, what day and time is Kanar with Damar? That is every other Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
And we already have a topic ready, but we're not done with how Karis eats her pizza.
So this week is
From the tip first.
Do you nibble it or? Yeah, honestly, sometimes it is. Sometimes not even the tip. It happens with age.
I always eat the tip.
Oh well,
I love Dick.
Oh god.
No, here's a question. Stuffed crust pizza, blasphemy or a decent treat?
Fellatio.
So a decent treat.
All right, honest pizza question. If it's too big, fold it in half.
No, just open my mouth wider.
God damn it.
I just go from one side to the other.
I seriously tried, Karis. I seriously tried.
Oh, goddamn you, furball.
What did I miss?
That actually kind of hurt.
Okay, what did I miss? Where is this? I'm sure it's in Discord somewhere.
No, his comment there, I had to mute because I went from laughing to coughing too hard.
Oh. I hate verbal COVID. Would you like me to continue?
Part of me wants to say yes, the other part is like, what is fucking wrong with you? So yes.
That is the usual response I get, yeah.
I'm intrigued, but slightly scared.
That's also a normal response.
Please continue, Karis. I think we left off at the tip of the pizza.
No, I'm done. Bye.
She's just gonna stop at the tip. So.
Oh, that is
She's a pizza tease.
That
is all she is. He's a pizza tease.
That is such an Alexa thing to do, too, though. I'm done. Bye.
I'm done. Goodbye. You are
Jay?
the weakest link. Goodbye.
Jay, when you get that Alexa coding, let me
What
know.
did the father buffalo say to his son when he left for college? Bye, son.
Oh no, Alexa has
Wow.
dad jokes.
Such a dad joke.
What's faster than the speed of light? The speed of your dad telling you to turn off the lights.
Karis, Nikki Daly says, stop leaving off at the tip, you fucking tease.
Would you like me to continue?
Yes, please.
How many sheep does it take to change a light bulb? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good night.
Lord.
You know what? I enjoy a good dad joke, and that was just horrible.
That's because I switched from dad joke to pun.
No, just
Yeah,
One time
we
I
have
ate
Alexa's.
a rainbow. It was delicious, but light.
Oh God.
wow.
We have
That's even worse
Alexa's in
because
both
I told her to tell me an inappropriate joke.
Yeah, we have them in both of our kids' rooms, and what I didn't realize is when you sync them to a specific phone, it syncs it to your contact list.
Yeah.
And we got a call one night from my work wife's mother, who is in the same town. We knew her. She's like grandma to the kids. And she calls us like, hey, Keith just called me from his room. We're like, how the hell did that happen? So we go up there and ask him. It's like, hey, Keith, what did you just do? He said, I said, Alexa, call mommy. And then Alexa chimed in, do you mean Jenny's mom, who's my work wife? Because that's what she's in my phone as. So Alexa then called Jenny's mom.
We are always listening.
Yes. So I changed my... She then went in my phone by name. So now whenever the boy wants to call mom, it actually calls his mother.
Alexa, ask the listeners. I read that was a
Hey,
thing.
hey Alexa, are my kids trashing the house while I'm away? She doesn't have eyes that you know of.
Yes, she does.
It's true. I've got one in my kitchen that has an eye.
Yeah, I've seen the view from it. It's actually a pretty good vantage point. Although I do
No,
have
it's a different camera.
Shh. You're not supposed to know about
sorry.
the one that I'm using.
Thank you, NANA.
Yeah.
A twist of the words, but you know,
He's got
I'll
it.
take it.
Close. Yep.
But yeah, and by the way, Sheba problems 101 right there.
Oh god, that bitch. That I love her, but that little bitch. I sent Jared a video earlier where the Sheba has been getting aggressive with my blind husky, and the blind husky can't exactly defend itself. And there's been some pretty rough tussles. A couple days ago, she got aggressive with the husky that can see, and she got pinned to the fucking ground.
Oh.
So I'm hoping that calms her down.
Yeah, I remember seeing that video.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. If you actually go back and look, there are a couple things that actually kicked it off. One, your daughter kicking accidentally, yes, while playing on the Oculus, kicked the husky
If you want
who was
to
asleep.
play it, you can.
Are you able to cue it up there, Jay?
Which one am I looking for here?
I only sent it to Jared. I don't think I put it in the chat.
No, hang on, give me a second. Copy link and boom. That one.
I'm having Mac issues, so I can't screen share right now.
But so
yeah. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, so what we have here are two dogs laying right inside of a doorway, right next to a kid who's playing with obstructed vision. No, not a recipe for disaster at all.
The dogs lay in the living room all the time, and we just like bump them out of the way.
Does it have sound?
Yes. But you don't need the sound.
Yeah, you don't need the sound, otherwise you'll get my daughter screaming.
So yes, what we have here is we have the not blind husky right there asleep, Snowball just kind of chilling by the ass end, and the child playing on the Oculus, and Kick right there, and so stop.
Oh my god.
So what you saw happen there is when the husky flailed around because the husky was startled because just got kicked by the kid, the Sheba saw that as, you're attacking the kid. That's my kid. How dare you?
No, I don't think it was that. I really don't think it was the kid. I think the Sheba saw it as aggression to herself. I have not seen her protective of the kids yet. But right there, stop.
Boom. Take down like a champ.
That is something that does not happen with the blind husky. So I'm kind of happy it happened with the seeing one, because she took her straight down, and you notice how quick it stops with the one that can see, because she knows she can fuck her up. And she's done.
But we were just playing. You
Yeah.
saw that from Snowball there?
Yeah. Yep. Immediately it went to, we were playing.
Yeah. Shebas are smart, and that's the problem.
Now, what was kind of funny was like a half hour later, after we let those two back together, the seeing husky, Ginger, tried to play with the Snow, and Snow wouldn't play with her.
You kicked my ass.
Yeah, pretty much. So Nikki Daly says as soon as I get my stimulus check, I'm getting an Oculus and Beat Saber. Nikki, from personal experience, start trolling Walmart because Walmart over Christmas had them at like a $300 discount. You can get them down to $400 if you happen to be there on a day that they're in stock. Otherwise, you're paying like $800 online.
Damn.
Yeah, it's wicked difference. But if you can find it at Walmart, get it. And yes, it will wear your ass out.
The Beat Saber or looking for the Beat Saber?
Both.
Yeah. Walmart will always wear your ass out, and then you just want to like shoot yourself.
Well, if your ass is getting worn out in Walmart, you might be doing it wrong.
No, it's just the fact that it's Walmart that mentally wears your ass out.
No, I have to go to dairy and then pets and then back to dairy and then to toys and then to dairy.
Exactly. And you know what's even worse? Having facial recognition on your phone was fucking amazing until we all started having to wear face masks.
I actually asked a really interesting question. Have I managed to go out on my bike yet? Once. And not since replacing the handlebars and grips. Every time I've gone to ride since doing that...
Quest, not go.
I know.
Oh my god, ugly German truths, what the fuck? We were talking about, Walmart makes you want to kill yourself. They said, lucky for you that Walmart also sells a gun to do that.
Not all of them.
Well, I mean, at least in my part of the country.
Yeah, out in the Midwest, yes, not up this way.
They do here, so.
Yeah, I hate Walmart.
LRJ88. There was supposed to be a Beat Saber, but with Chris Brown. However, that didn't get onto the shelves for some reason.
Oh. I go to Walmart. Clothes, electronics, food, toys, pets, and housewares in no particular order outside of electronics first.
I mean, to give myself credit, I try to hit dairy last.
Yeah.
I am so sorry, Nikki.
So,
we got another Missourian.
Oh my god, really? Another Missourian? Jesus.
You're frickin' taking over the stream. God damn it.
I know. The showy state. Showing everyone.
But it's not so much that it's been a lot of shitty weather. It's been the timing of the shitty weather. Because with the tools that I have to carry for work and the occasional parts that I have to carry, I can't ride to work every day like I used to.
I went on an accidental 3.5-hour mountain bike ride yesterday.
Accidental, huh?
Well, the time length was accidental.
Traffic?
I got lost in
Lord.
in the woods.
Oh no.
For 3 hours.
Oh boy.
And had no fucking clue how to get back. I had to end up calling our neighbor, who's a biker, and then she literally like drew little arrows on a map of where to go to get out of the woods. And then as I got halfway out of the woods, I got onto a hardball path, and my front tire fucking went flat.
Oh.
So then I had to walk the rest of the way, and said neighbor had to come pick me up. So my accidental 3.5-hour adventure. As I left the house and told my wife, I'll be back in like an hour.
Oh.
ISP busy signals.
We now have like 4 or 5 Missourians in chat.
So what exactly the Missourianary position?
It's high on meth and banging on your porch.
Wow.
I've never been high, but
Remind me to smack him later.
Why would I miss?
Leon?
What?
Yeah.
If you'd been in the Navy, you'd be used to navigating around in the wood.
So my car gets between 20 and 28 miles per gallon. My bike, I get close to 50.
My truck gets 19 on the highway.
Here you go, Jared.
Ugly
My
German
truck gets
Prince
like
asks-
21. Sorry, go.
Nope, it's not relevant to what you guys are discussing. It's relevant to Missouri.
The hell?
And it's accidental that it sounds like misery. No, that's not accidental. That's intentional. I mean, that was forethought. There was planning. People knew what was going to happen in that state, and they named it for what would happen there in the future.
It was predictive.
You suggest there's that much forethought in the state.
All right. Well, we are getting close to movie night time, and I'm actually going to get some sleep because I have that appearance on the Daily Atheist's sci-fi show in just under 12 hours.
What is the topic going to be, do you know?
I don't. I know it's sci-fi related, and which is going to be interesting because I can just kind of sit back and enjoy the conversation instead of giving people shit for finally coming up with a topic.
Hey, can you show the topic of the next one? And just so you know, I'm doing research and I'm going to have a PowerPoint ready.
Do you have the
Jay,
tweet
share
available, Jay?
Oh god. All right. What's the topic? I haven't even looked that far.
Well,
For
you
Kanar with
retweeted
Damar.
it.
I know I did. I gotta go pull up Twitter though. That's the problem.
The question is, was Cheers a holodeck program?
Yes.
Because of how many characters from Star Trek had been on Cheers. So I'll be ready for it, Jared. And I was going to ask to bring this up so that people could be prepared if they want to come and see it. I'm working on a timeline. Who is in the holodeck? Who is in Cheers to make sure timelines don't mismatch. And as of yet, the only thing that we have to explain is the presence of a holodeck in the Star Trek universe before the acknowledgement of it.
Discovery.
Wait, how do you figure?
It's never talked. No, it's with Kirstie Alley.
Actually, it does actually fall apart midway down because she wasn't even Federation.
No, the issue is, were people on Cheers at the same time that they were hundreds of years apart on Star Trek?
Oh,
That's where it would fall apart.
Yeah, some people would think it would fall apart at the second one as well because, hey, same era, what about the holodeck? But...
He's TNG.
Yeah, he went TNG.
Yeah, that's TNG.
right, but he was on the Bozeman, wasn't he?
Yep.
But that's still when the holodeck exists.
In TNG, yeah.
Yep. With Kirstie Alley, it's all Star Trek 2. So technically, because she's Klingon, or not Klingon, God, I've drank too much already. Because she's Vulcan, and she lives an average of 200 years, that would push her into a time span where the holodeck would exist. That's the biggest stretch you would have to make to assume that maybe Cheers just was a holodeck program that was pre-programmed into every holodeck as a let's go have a drink place.
I prefer Fairhaven.
No, the tiki bar.
Oh, that's true.
Once again, it falls apart midway down though, because like she wasn't even Federation; she was in that pre-warp civilization.
Yeah. But really, well, wait. She had a thing for Riker, and what did Riker do in season? No, it was the Binars who did it for Riker, and Riker ended up keeping the character.
4.
Yeah, that was season 1.
So she's actually a holodeck character then. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's essentially an NPC in Cheers, based on the alien.
I haven't watched that episode, so I don't know. Can't formulate that argument yet. But
Which one?
For BB New Earth, the middle one.
Oh, First Contact. Not the movie, the episode.
Yeah, yep. Season 4.
Yep.
Isn't it weird? I just rattle off the episode without even thinking.
Nerd.
Losman gets a. Yep. Okay. Well, it's about that time. And wait a minute. Oh yeah, Dead Kennedy in space playing with his minions of Kerbin.
I haven't played that for a long time. That's an awesome game.
I haven't played it since they did the robot the robot update thing. So
the problem I had is anytime that I had a Kerbin that was stuck in space, I would spend the next month trying to get them back.
How hard could it be to get them back?
No, you would try hard to get their remains back to give them a proper burial if it's taken that long.
Hey, there's no running out of food in Kerbal Space Program.
Yeah.
You rescue them a month later, and they're just as alive as they were on day one.
For some reason, they don't need oxygen, water, or food.
Okay, then.
They're the perfect space program fans.
Is he still having problems learning how to dock, Nikki?
I had to get them back from the Mun one time where they crash landed and I had to do a rescue mission. They survived for months
on the moon with nothing,
just standing there in their spacesuit. Wow.
Well, you know the new incarnation of DuckTales had a similar storyline with the three nephews' mother.
Well, with that, we're gonna call it a night, and we will catch you all later.